Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the Reel McCoy. I'm your host, Meffistoe, and always with me, my hetero life mate. All my feelings. How are you, sir?
I think better than you right now, buddy.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I just forgot a few things, like turning on my fucking camera and demonetized. Anyway, what is the Reel McCoy, you might ask? The Reel McCoy is your weekly movie podcast where we ask you to go and watch a movie. You watch it, come back to us, and we break it down for you, and we spin it all around on our rack of comics, even though it's not a comic book movie. Anyway, this week we last week we kind of asked you to go watch adaptation with Nicolas Cage, but midweek we had a thought, and I thought I don't want to watch adaptation. And Mr. All My Feelings here suggested, well, remember we talked about Mandy when we talked about Pig? So let's talk about that because Nicolas Cage, kind of the last movie, he said that Pig was his favorite movie to do, but before that, he said that Mandy was his favorite movie to make. So let's watch that. I was like, okay, and then watch it. Let's do it. I looked at the poster and was like, oh shit, that's a different kind of Cage movie. No problem. I'm down for it. And then I watched it.
He was not down for it.
I'm not down for it so much, but we have a full on podcast to go talk about it endlessly or little as possible, depending on what I want. Anyway, so if you're watching this on anywhere you watch this, just like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll just start. I watched this yesterday, and I have to say that's my first time watching Mandy, and I fucking hated it very much so that I don't normally do this, especially when I prepare for this show. I never skip moments. I had to skip a lot of moments where there was like dead air. So I kind of predicted what was going to happen. Skip forward 10, 15 seconds, still wasn't going anywhere. Skipped a little more. And at a certain point, I was so bored and disconnected. I had a thought, and I will share that thought with you at a specific moment because it's a weird movie.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
weird movie.
it is. It's far out there.
Yeah, I don't know because I kind of look. Trust me, I've seen my fair share of weird movies, art house movies, whatever. Like call it what you want. What's it call it? I've seen my share of grindhouse movies as well. However, this one was not good.
This is it's kind of just a mismatch of all of them together, of multiple different genres and concepts that are all brought together at once.
kind of. And I had a
Panos Cosmatos did a very weird job with this movie, and I thought that you would actually kind of just enjoy just the hyper violence at the end of it because it's so like really goes really on the far end of the grindhouse side.
why would I don't enjoy gore that much.
Oh,
It's
I
not
thought you just laugh at it
actually
because it's just so over the top. It's funny.
I some of it was funny. Like, dude, to be perfectly honest, the only scene I kind of liked was the axe making scene, but then I kind of rewatched it again. It made zero sense, but it was cool. So I
Well,
get it.
there's a reason why he made the axe in that shape too, which we'll get to.
Oh, yeah. Probably. All right. To start us off, let's begin at the beginning, and that calls for behind the screens.
Sound production, take two.
Behind the screens is where we go to All My Feelings, get the lowdown on everything behind the scenes, and yes, I have prepared one as well. We'll see.
Okay.
Take it away, my man.
Probably about the best thing about the film in general is just its cinematography and the way that it is shot. There are some scenes, especially the open lake scene with Red just on the lake by himself with that over cascading sunrise. Like it's a really gorgeous movie. It's just a very weird movie. But
Yes, I agree. I
they
agree.
but they used the Arri Alexa and Panavision anamorphic format spliced together to get the actual film footage to make it look like it's an older film, but adapted to modern.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I didn't even think about it, but yeah, I thought they just use a like an Adobe Premiere filter.
No,
It kind of looks like it.
nah.
Okay,
Okay.
so it was in the original film itself.
Yeah.
All right.
So the axe that Red used is actually based solely on the F in in the logo for the metal band Celtic Frost.
Okay.
It's exactly what the F looks like in Celtic Frost. And
Okay.
if you notice too, the script for Mandy is that traditional black metal style
Yes.
font. Yeah.
Sort of
Like
I would say
arcing
sort of
letters
like
that are
an
together
Iron
that
Maiden.
spread out. Yeah.
It's sort of like an Iron Maiden kind of a type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, it's more common to like modern black metal and grindcore stuff.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of metal band. It's out there. Anyway, so Red was named partially for the album Red by King Crimson.
Okay.
And actually that's the first song that you hear in the opening credits. Starless.
Right.
That's
Starless.
King.
Yeah.
It's King
Yeah,
Crimson.
yeah.
The entire chainsaw fight that they did, they had to film that in one night.
Because the director wanted it to feel like it's hell.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I saw that line and I was like, really? And I had to check a different source. And it's literally quoted in like a not a variety, but one of those outlets. It was quote from him.
Yeah.
And just a quick pause. Hi Becky, thank you for joining us. And yes, you've never heard about this movie. It's kind of a last minute change, like we discussed. Just sit back, relax, and you may or may not want to watch this after this movie.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, we'll see.
So originally, Panos Cosmatos, the writer and director, wanted Nick Cage to actually play Jeremiah Sands,
The cult leader.
the prophet. Yeah,
Okay.
but it was actually Elijah Wood that convinced Panos to have Nick Cage play Red.
Why did he want him to play? Okay.
Because they had worked together on a project before, and
No, I don't mean no,
Yeah.
not Elijah. Why did Panos wanted Cage to play the cult leader?
because he wanted Red to be a younger guy.
Oh, so it's like a young couple. Okay.
Yeah, a younger
okay,
couple.
okay.
Yeah. So originally, Sand was it's kind of shown, but not depicted masturbating when he saw Mandy in the car. Instead, it's shown later in the scene where she's laughing at him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have it somewhere. The thing is with the actor said he didn't want to.
Yeah. So, Linus Roach, he didn't want to actually be nude, but
okay.
he actually ended up seeing Margot Robbie nude in Wolf on Wall Street and said, "Hey, if she can do it, I'll do it."
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really brief. Like
It's really
not,
brief too. It doesn't.
it's not like
yeah.
it's not even sexual.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation. We can talk about it, but when it comes, but it's a weird situation. But it's not really like nudity to.
For
I was
nudity's sake.
surprised
No.
that there was no other kind of like no
Nudity.
female nudity. In
The
a
only
cult
female
because-
nudity that's in the film is animated in
Yeah.
the heavy metal style. Yeah, which
Yeah.
there's a big homage to heavy metal in this. Not the genre, the actual 80s film, and then they
Yeah,
did the
the
heavy
80s film heavy
yeah,
metal.
Let's see, the robes. This is a note that's great, and I had to write it down because I'm like, Meph is gonna love this.
I think I know what you mean, but go ahead.
It's the robes that Jeremiah wears.
Yes.
They're the same robes that Spock wears.
Yeah, the same robes that Spock wears in Star Trek 4,
Is it
which
Search
I
for
found
Spock? Yeah.
hilarious. Because I didn't even think about it, but when I got to like checking out the stuff that is all the behind the scenes stuff, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Because the time that this was when the film was supposed to be taking place was actually the same year that film was released.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the Red and Mandy and all that's supposed to be 1984, 86. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he did his first film was also situated in 1986. So
Yep.
kind of, he said he was harkening back to what it was, even though it's a different movie. But
Yep.
kind of, I guess he loves that time of year or whatever.
That period, that decade, I guess.
Hold the phone. We've got breaking news.
Hi.
She goes to bed.
Yep.
Yes.
Alrighty. So, in the original script, there was actually supposed to be an entire litany of songs that were set for specific scenes.
Okay.
Like the opening was "Starless" by King Crimson.
Yeah.
But it was absolutely going to blow the budget out of proportion, like to an obscene
I get
degree.
it.
Like it was going to be just absolutely fucking nuts. The studio went back like, dude, we gave you only a $6 million budget. You're not getting a penny more.
$6 million budget, and I blew it all on fucking iTunes.
Everything with the Black Skulls, it's funny, it's a personal bit. I actually have a Raglan tee that's like Red's, but it actually has the Black Skulls on it. The biker gang. I actually have I have a sweatshirt with the Black Skulls on the back of it too. I'll send you a picture of it in Discord.
How did you get that?
A company named Death Saves made it.
So you got it
Yeah.
sort of a promotional thing for the movie, or
yeah.
Okay.
They made it just because they thought it was interesting, but it actually has all four of the bikers on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to those because I have a thought.
Yeah, they're interesting.
Yes.
There are multiple references to horror films throughout the entire movie if you pay attention.
Yes, I did.
Most notably, there's one big one to Reanimator. There's one that's obviously like right by Crystal Lake.
Yes, I noticed that too.
Yes.
I got it confirmed when I did the research.
They are actually watching Night Beast.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what was that movie? Because I couldn't find.
Yeah, it's Mandy and Red are watching the film Night Beast.
Night Beast.
Yeah.
That's
really bad horror film from the 80s.
One of those
low budget B movie ones. Yeah,
it
was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. As an aside, the effect that they have there, where the laser hits them and they explode into light.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember watching Father's Day when they had that special that was in the middle there?
Yes.
Star Raiders. The guys from Astron 6, they reference Night Beast as the influence of that.
Oh.
Where they had a character getting shot and they explode into light. Yeah, they were referencing Night Beast.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. I don't think we discussed it when we talked about Father's Day, but there's
we talked about Star Raiders, but it's
we did.
It's a very, very small bit because it's so great is the fact like it's one of those like late night, it's B movie terrible films that you're gonna watch back to back to back when you were like a kid, and they had the entire thing soup to nuts in that like 2-minute little bit because it shows them at the end. It shows the guys dying at the end of the movie. So the Cheddar Goblin bit.
Okay.
That was made by the same guy who made Too Many Cooks.
I don't know what Too Many Cooks is.
You don't know? Oh God, you don't know what Too Many Cooks is? Oh.
I'm sorry.
You have to go now. You'll have to look that up.
No, I don't, because last time you told me to look something up, it was Mandy.
No, it was a 14-minute Adult Swim short where basically it's like the sitcom hell where it's just this sitcom thing playing over and over and over again, but they're different characters that keep swapping in every single time. And at one point in time, somebody just starts killing all the characters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen
Um,
that bit, but somewhere else. Or
yeah.
maybe it. Never mind. I know what you're talking about.
Prior to its release, Cosmatos presented it at Cannes, describing it about the death of his parents.
Wait,
Just to
hold
fuck
up.
with them. Just to fuck with them.
Hold up. It was presented at Cannes.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Fine. He said it was about the death of his
Death of his
parents.
parents. Yeah.
Was he lying? He was lying.
Yeah, he was just fucking with them.
Yeah. Damn. The balls on that guy.
Yeah. So remember the chemist
Yes.
has the drugged up tiger, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't supposed to be a tiger.
What was it supposed to be?
It was supposed to be just an iguana.
Okay. Okay.
So what happened was they had joked backstage about the whole thing about it being a tiger because of Nick Cage's wardrobe. At the beginning, Red's wearing the tiger shirt, right?
Wasn't he wearing like a lumberjack shirt?
Well, yeah, but right after that, the majority of the time before you see him in his number 44
When he's with
shirt,
Mandy.
is the tiger shirt.
No,
But on the first day of shooting with the chemist, people were surprised and they showed up and said, like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I got a tiger."
I mean, there is like a salamander at one point,
Yeah,
but it's not really an iguana.
it was supposed to be a reference to. Well, that was supposed to be part of it too. Was all the salamander as well, but yeah, just like, hey, we got a tiger.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
what are you gonna do?
Right. It is what it is.
It is. There is a lot of the references to how much, especially Nick Cage loves comic books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the rest of the reason why he actually got the line updated to say, actually, my favorite one would be Galactus.
Yeah, I noticed
Yeah.
that and it was like, that seems a bit out of place.
And it's like, but even Mandy calls him out, well, Galactus is not a planet. No, he eats planets though.
Yes.
Okay.
I think
And the
didn't
other
at
stuff
one
is
point he said like Saturn and it was a reference to his own like production company or something.
Yep. Yeah. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah, that was gonna be Max Note, but yeah.
See, I noticed things.
The next one was going to be the rest of the stuff I'll just kind of mention.
Let's see,
Interspersed.
something that you haven't mentioned and I have looked.
May actually be in what I have for the scenes, but
No, pretty much what you
But no, go
got
ahead.
is what I got. I don't have anything extra.
okay.
I love the bit about Galactus though.
Yeah. Because it's Nick Cage. I mean,
Yeah, well, you know that there's a famous I don't know if it was on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. This guy at a con, not Comic-Con, but a con, he's like he sees Nicolas Cage buying some shit at a vendor and he's like, dude, he's talking to his friend and he's keep like filming him on his phone.
yeah.
And he's like, dude, that's Nick Cage. No way that's Nick Cage. And they're too timid to even approach him. But when he's done, he's like, Cage is giving money to the guy and he's got like a stack of comic books and he just leaves. And you see his silhouette move through. You're like, yeah, that's fucking Nicolas Cage.
That's fucking
He's
Nick
like,
Cage. I mean,
down to earth. He doesn't give a fuck. He's just there to like pick up a comic book and just go. He doesn't care about the audience. Nobody bothers him. Nobody knows who he is. Because,
Yep.
Do you really expect like this famous actor, regardless if he's old or not, or popular or not, but in the nerdy circles, you would expect people to like jump him, right?
yeah, you'd think
Nothing
so.
happens.
Yeah.
It's weird. Anyway, Mandy. Damn. Dude, I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect that.
That's I knew. I knew it was going
When
to be something completely different. That you were going to be like, I don't know what I'm watching right now, dude.
no,
I don't know what I'm
I
watching.
knew what I was watching, but and I don't think we kind of did discuss this like off air at certain point. I really do love indie films. I love them, but I have to find ones that really tick my boxes. But in order to do that, you have to watch a lot of films, like in anything. So you want to read that next epic book, right? But you have to read like 750, 100 books till you get to that one that you really like. And along the way, you got a lot of mids and you got a lot of stinkers, right?
Yeah.
So there, at a certain point, you're gonna watch a movie even if you get recommended. And this is like I've thought about this in the past 24 hours. Like, why would you give me a movie, or why do you want me to watch this movie that you think is good or you think that I would like rather than good, and give me such a stinker? And then I had I had like an epiphany. It's like, yeah, you sometimes do need to stumble upon these dregs of society in order to appreciate the good stuff. Uh, Hi, Daisy. Thank you for joining. It's going to be a very interesting conversation because when it kind of started and it was very very slow, and I'm looking at the ticker, and the ticker says 2 hours and a minute, and I was like, is this going to be the entire movie? Where's this going to go? Because from like the only thing I saw, and I really am adamant on this, on movies that I don't know, especially indie movies, all you get is the poster, maybe a few images if you Google image,
Mhm.
and maybe if you're really going out of your way to watch the trailer, especially if there's always one trailer on IMDb, even for indie movies. I don't like to watch the trailers for something that is like completely fresh, especially indie films.
Okay.
So I went in cold with a picture of Nicolas Cage full of blood in a background that kind of obscures the blood, but you can tell he's been through some shit, and a chainsaw behind his back. And I was like, okay, this is going to be one of those movies where Cage did in order to sustain himself and pay off that debt that we mentioned several times.
Nope, that wasn't the case.
That wasn't the case.
Uh-uh.
He did this movie because he wanted to
He
do
really
this
wanted to do
movie,
this movie. Yeah.
and he fought for the role of Red.
Yep.
He didn't want to be Jeremiah. That's what I got. That You mentioned that with
Yep.
Elijah Wood, that they did the trade, but
Yeah, because he did not want to be the villain in this movie, and the same thing that happened. Well, actually, really, with Face Off, because he didn't want to be in that either until it was revealed to him that basically he's really playing the
the hero,
hero
basically. Yeah.
mostly. Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I went into it, and what I found was an LSD or an LDS, because there is Star Trek 4, an LDS kind of a movie. And up to like, there's like 40 minutes left, 30 minutes left. That's where it actually does kick into gear.
Yes.
And
So
it was
it's
a very, very tough watch.
we had mentioned this backstage. Really, what's the beginning of the film? The first hour and 15 minutes is just basically the prologue.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say so. We kind of got. We're gonna go through it regardless, whether I liked it or not. Like I said, it's all about discussing these films, whether you like them or not. They have merit or not. They're boring. They're fun. They're funny. They're horrible. Doesn't matter. We're here to talk, right? Me and you,
Yep.
just me and you. So what we have here is the start. We get to see who Red is. He's a lumberjack. He's working far away from home. His wife or his girlfriend, we don't know.
It's his girlfriend.
Yeah,
It's confirmed actually that that's one thing that was always was questioned about, like, what is the actual status of their relationship. Yeah, they were just boyfriend and girlfriend. That's it.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
But right there, I could see that
yeah.
the screen there, just that lake shot. I love that shot.
Well, I'll get to it in a minute. I get this particular shot, sort of like when he actually comes. We see her alone, in this house, right? She's you can tell, and you already know something is a little bit off with Mandy. He's very down to earth, kind of has this regular Joe blue collar job. He comes back home after being away for a while, but she's sort of like this. I don't want to say hippie chick, but she's kind of
Very free spirit.
free.
Yeah.
Yeah, free spirit. That's the what I wanted to get to.
And Mandy is also, well, like, there is a gratuitous amount of drug use in this.
I guess. Yeah, this lake shot is beautiful. You mentioned this before. I do love the cinematography in this because, like I said, there. You said it's all about having the correct cameras and correct lenses. I thought it was in the day of digital and the fact that it's very cheap, that you can do stuff very, very cheap and do this very well with post production After Effects.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, it's sort of like you can keep the lake blue and highlight just that little portion. I even know how to do that on my editing software. It's not that difficult,
Hmm.
but achieving this through the means of actual having the cameras and the lenses is very, very, very good. And I like that. I like stuff that look good.
Yeah.
Sadly, half of the movie is not looking good. Like I didn't like these shots.
Or supposed to
And
be faded and washed out.
yeah, and you said it was done on purpose.
Yeah.
It was done to make it look like an 86 movie.
Yeah.
Succeed, I guess.
One thing I was going to mention too, just the thematic title cards are reminiscent. Like, they show the three actual set pieces of the entire film. Because the
Okay.
one is the Shadow Mountains title card is very 70s esque. It's very free flowing and very heavily prog rock inspired. Like, if you
Yeah.
look at it, you could, like, yeah, I could see that being on a Rush cover
Yeah.
of a Rush album.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
And then with the Children of the New Dawn, when they end up showing the cult in a bit, uh, that title card is more reminiscent of, like, almost hippie free love, kind of like jam band style, like, kind of a title. And then when it kicks into the revenge film part of it with
Yeah.
Mandy in just all, like, doom black metal.
Yeah, kind of sort of like heavy metal
Yeah, and you can see
inspired.
how Panos had it in his head for music to fit what it was, and that's why
Oh
they all
yeah,
kind of went there. That's why, like, in the Shadow Mountains, when they're playing King Crimson, I mean, prog rock. You know what I'm talking about? Prog rock.
yeah. Um, I don't have this on my notes. I wanted to ask you about this. The title of the book, the book itself, is it a real book?
I believe it is actually a real book, and the
Uh,
Serpent's Eye is mentioned multiple times throughout the film too.
okay.
And
Because
and
I couldn't find it, so I don't know. I just couldn't find anything on it. There was
okay,
something mentioned on IMDb, but I don't trust IMDb anymore.
yeah, it's kind of a poop shoot
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. It like I said, it's really hard to because you do see it a couple of times. So I thought it was maybe had some sort of a significance, but other than the serpent's eye, I couldn't find anything.
Okay.
Um, Yeah. So we'll jump to the point of meetup. I want to. Well, you talked about the title cards. This is the title card right before we get to the cult section.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea of what we're going for, sort
Oh,
of
I was
free
gonna say one
flowing.
thing right before that. Mandy
Sure.
tells the story of the baby starlings.
Yes. Yeah.
That is about the only kind of character, real information we get about Mandy.
Yeah. When she just mentioned this, she talked about her. Is it her uncle or her
Is
dad?
her father? Is her father?
Her dad
Yeah.
coming in to all the kids. He got like these baby sterlings, and he bashed one, and he told every single kid, "He got I got one little starling for each one of you. You can kick it." Now you know exactly where I went to, right? I went to my mind went to Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Starling, kind of like Clarice Starling, and the fact that he kills lambs because it's
Actually,
young.
no. Well, I could see that. I completely forgot about Clarice's last name in that. No, that's a good point. Well, also the starlings are. Well, actually, they're a terrible, terrible pest in the United States because they. Wow, some clever fucking guy who loved birds had his own aviary, and he wanted one kind of bird that was all Shakespeare. So he brought starlings over that are invasive species, and now they are everywhere.
Well, I didn't know that,
Yeah.
but the fact that that's where my mind went to. I don't know if he actually meant that. I really don't know. I've not found
I don't, but
anything about it
I don't know either. But that's a good, clever twist on it, though.
because it kind of invokes the whole why was she it's sort of Clarice's story about the lambs being slaughtered, and I was like, "Oh, that's really interesting," but I don't know if he actually meant that. Maybe he just meant those little birds, and he just the first thing that came up to his mind is a starling. But
Well, because it kind of makes sense with just the fact that again they are an invasive species and they are considered a pest. So it's kind of yeah, I could see them doing that, but also the just the way that the that actually does fit the mold of Clarice's character. Yeah, it could be an homage in its own right.
all right, let's talk about cult.
Ah,
Did
Mr.
they
Jeremiah Sand.
did they or didn't they invoke Charlie Manson?
Oh, 100%. There are so many fucking references to Charles Manson. It's crazy.
I mean, let's think about it. You've got the Charles Manson, which is Jeremiah Sands at this case. You've got the two girls and the two boys and one extra boy that to me it was like, okay, two boys, two girls from the murder of Sharon Tate.
Mhm.
There were more in the cult, but I'm talking about specifically that went to that particular place.
Yeah.
And there's an extra boy. The extra boy we know later was being exchanged as a pound of flesh,
Yes, to
which
the
means he wasn't
Black
a
Skulls.
part of the cult,
Well,
or he
also
was.
also the fact that Charles Manson was also a failed musician, just like
Yeah.
Jeremiah Sands. What does he refer to
I don't
them
remember
as?
everything.
Pigs.
Pigs,
Yeah.
yes, which is cops. But yeah, same as Charles Manson. And the whole spiel when Jeremiah was talking to Mandy really invoked the Charles
Oh,
Manson
we're gonna talk about that music scene because there's an important bit in there
Okay,
that's
okay,
interesting.
okay.
But
Uh, but all around, it kind of is that same thing, and also kind of invoked. I thought about the van in Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
yeah, yeah.
and the guy who went in and cut himself. The guy who was part of the
Uh,
family later on.
yeah, the brother, the other brother.
One of the kids there kind of looks the same with that mullet. Guys, he has like this fucking blonde mullet. I was like, the dude's face kind of looks the same.
And you could tell that guy is not all there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not all there. All right, cool. We're gonna stop here and we'll do our first game of the night. It is called Missing Marquee. See, I told you the volume has been lowered.
It's
Right.
all right.
Missing Marquee is where we take 10 posters of the movie, have their text written off, we display them in Oh My Feelings, and you in the chat can guess which movie this is. There we go.
Amadeus.
Amadeus. And also it says so up top. Never mind. This one is tough. This is a David Lynch movie.
Oh, is this Blue Velvet?
This is Blue Velvet, correct.
He said that. It's not Legend. I don't remember.
It's not Legend.
I never remember the name of this movie. I'm not gonna get it
It's
because I've seen it once, and when I was
also
like
starring
5.
Rutger Hauer.
Yeah.
You don't remember the name?
Nope.
Maybe the chat will help you. We've got a slim amount of people. People on Rumble, if you're watching, because I can see a lot of people spread out between YouTube, X, and Rumble. If you got it, just flaunt it. No takers. Takers. This is Lady Hawk.
Yeah. Oh no.
This is a terrible movie. I can't believe I watched it. Not
I
this
don't think
weekend, though.
I don't think I've actually ever seen this film.
Trust me, you're not losing anything.
I wouldn't think so.
This one is called Mother-in-Law.
It's just Rosemary's Baby.
It is Rosemary's Baby, correct.
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
No.
No?
No. Humphrey Bogart was in Breakfast at Tiffany's?
No. Why am I thinking that? No, that's not it.
Even if you have seen it, you've probably seen the remake of this movie. The remake is with Harrison Ford, Greg Kinnear, and Julia Ormond.
I don't remember it.
All right.
Having a bad day
This
today.
is called Sabrina.
Sabrina. Okay.
The Teenage Witch. No, just kidding. Just Sabrina.
Isn't that just Evil Dead?
This is Evil Dead.
That's what I thought.
I thought that one was like the one that was like immediate because we have covered it.
Yeah.
We've talked about it.
That's The Saint, right?
That is The Saint, correct.
That was a fun movie.
Fun movie.
This is Towering Inferno.
Towering Inferno is correct. That's the end of it.
Wow. That was a bad one for me.
No, I as soon as I saw Sabrina.
Wait, was that
like,
supposed to be
yeah.
Mother-in-Law or was it supposed to be Monster-in-Law?
No.
Okay. Because that's
It's gotta
another
be
one, right?
Mother-in-Law.
That's another one that is the kind of the same concept.
Ken. Yeah.
Okay. I figured.
Right. Cool. Awesome. Let's go there and so Jeremiah sees Mandy in this red haze of a moment in the movie where it transfers to the occult side.
But you know what was so funny about that, Meph?
Yeah.
When I was watching this again, after we had our month of Monty Python, all I could think of is like, what, they bring on Terry Gilliam for a day?
You know what? Terry Gilliam would have gladly directed this movie. Holy hell. But from that moment, Mandy goes back and she has that moment where she wakes up from a dream and she tells Red about her starling dream. And then it moves on to the occult where we can see Jeremiah kind of berate his followers.
Yeah, because he first berates the Mother Marlene, the older woman, and then to get Brother Swan, and basically it's just like it's like, if you are not, are you with me? If you are not with me, you will not ascend.
Yeah, and it to me is like, even if you're not even if you're not invoking Charlie Manson, this is like typical cult
Leader
behavior.
behavior, especially like how he snaps on them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very much like what we know of cult behavior anywhere, real or fake.
Yeah.
Sort of it's by sort of like paint by numbers cultish behavior, I think.
And
Um
it gives him that weird like ocarina,
yeah, I want to
which was odd. And there's also like where he says, "Oh yeah, you can go ahead and give him the fat one."
oh, where is it? Never mind. So he sends the older lady to check out Mandy, and she goes out and she buys something from her. But Mandy is so uninterested. She's in that book, even when that old lady is like talking some mad creepy shit.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, like it's like, okay, and she just leaves. And like, Mandy, look, you're being targeted. It's gonna happen. Please. And
She's the one who actually mentions Crystal Lake as well.
yeah.
Mother Marlene is. But there's also the side bit right before then is, man, you feel so bad for Sister Lucy, the young
Yeah,
girl.
when she goes into that room and it kind
Yeah,
of
because he's like, because you know what's
fades
gonna
away.
happen.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it, it sadly, the cultish behavior does include a lot of sex. It's like,
yeah.
were you in a cult? Yeah, I was in a sex cult. Aren't all cults sex cults?
Not all of them, but a lot of them end up having
lot
some
of them
kind
are.
of weird thing. Yeah. About the only one that really didn't do that was Jim Jones.
Yeah, kind
I'd
of.
call him the Kool-Aid Man.
The Kool-Aid Man.
Oh, same with the Moonies.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not versed in all the cults, but pretty sure
That
most
was the one. They were the ones who thought that they were going to get on the comet that was coming. So they
Yeah, I know who
yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Ocarina of Time. I'm sorry. The death whistle or whatever it is. They're sitting there, and he goes out and he invokes somebody. Then he goes back to the car, and the guy next to him, the creepy guy with the blonde mullet, is just doing.
Oh, the most annoying fucking thing. I would have lost my shit so fast. He keeps rolling
I
down the
literally
window and
lost my
pulling
shit.
it back
I
up. I'm just
literally
like,
lost my shit.
stop it. Stop it.
Stop it. Give him a slap on the backside of the head. It's like,
Then
stop.
also insert Terry Gilliam homage number 2 with the giant massive fog roll in as the Black Skulls emerge.
But then what we get, and I'll switch a little bit forward.
Oh, they does actually give him that jar of the super high powered LSD.
Yeah.
That apparently is the thing that drove him all crazy.
Yeah. The thing is, what I saw, and it literally kind of fits with the timeline. I know it's a bit of a massage. You said 1986. You know what movie came out in 1987?
What, you think Hellraiser?
Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Literally, it's
one of them actually is kind of like Hellraiser because
one of
his
them,
entire suit, like the metal suit with the spikes in it. That's
literally this guy on screen, even though he does have spikes, reminded me of I don't know the name of them. I know there's names.
Yeah, the Cenobites. There's
they're all one of the Cenobites.
Yeah.
One of them has that weird mask. It kind of invokes the guy who can't see, whose like eyes are sewn shut, and the guy one of them has the helmet that literally mimics Pinhead. And I was like,
I
really?
think that guy right there, I think that's Fuck Pig.
Could be.
Yeah, they have names. The
Yeah, I
bikers
know.
have names. No, that's the biker's name. Is literally like in the credits. It's fuck pig. He's the one that has that certain strap on later.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Uh, but
Yeah.
the thing is, I was like, okay, he invoked them. So the Ocarina of Time was actually the box.
Kind
It,
of.
it represented the box where you open up the box and the Cenobites come in. The red, uh, the red thing was, or the red glow was, okay, that's the portal that opens up. And it kind of harkens back to the red from the start, which, to be honest, this was a more like deep red.
Deep, yeah. So it
And
seems like this kind of juxtaposed with how evil they are in a way.
yeah, evil, anger,
Or yeah, because
you know,
if you notice that like when most of the scenes before Manny dies, before Red becomes red,
yeah. No, but
most of it's shot in a blue hue or blue or like a purple hue.
yeah, but when she's walking in that sort of a dream state, when she meets or the cult kind of moves past her, it's
Yeah,
not a red. It's more like a between red and pink.
yeah, mhm,
We'll call it
that's fair.
fuchsia.
Fuchsia, yes.
Yeah. Right. So it's a pinkish red rather than this like deep anger, fucking I'm gonna murder you red. Uh, that's again when I'm bored of a movie, that's the stuff that I kind of see and sort of mimic to somewhere else. And it's really interesting that you said that he was really into invoking other type of horror imagery from different from different horror films,
Mhm.
especially Crystal Lake and all that stuff. And it's interesting. The problem is it's not interesting enough. It didn't keep me engaged,
That's fair.
which is sad to be honest, because what happens next is Red is gonna get murdered, not
Well, no,
murdered.
he gets knocked out this time
Yeah,
when they take Mandy. Um,
and so the the Cenobites get into Red and Mandy's place. They, I think they tie up both of them. They take both of them, but Mandy gets one treatment and Red gets a completely different treatment.
are you talking about the scenes with Red and the bikers?
No,
Okay.
I'm talking when the bikers. Well, you don't see them deliver them to the cult, but literally they get there. We
Yeah.
also see that the extra guy that was with the cult family get sacrificed, so flesh for flesh or blood for blood, which is understandable. And again, it also invoked the Hellraiser thing for me because there's always exchange of like an eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, that kind of a thing.
Mhm.
And Mandy is being prepared. We'll say that, right?
Yes. This is kind of like that. This is what a lot of cults actually do. Is they do kind of they do sort of indoctrination via the use of psychedelics. This is more prominent really in the 70s and the early 80s. But really, that's how they got a lot of people to join them. I mean, well, again, back to the Manson family, they would have circles where they would just do LSD for
Yeah,
hours and hours and hours and hours at a time.
it's just to expand the mind, man.
Yeah, that's something.
And this whole scene was odd. There's that robe from Star Trek 4, which was like I said, when I saw it, I was like, I was I was half smiling because I didn't even think about Star Trek 4.
Yeah.
But now that you told me, it's like, okay, okay. And at some point, he exposes himself. Like you said, he was supposed to masturbate, but he didn't. I I don't think masturbation would have added anything to the scene.
No, it does show him from the chest up, moving rhythmically, like he is doing it, and that's when Mandy starts laughing at him.
Yeah,
It throws him off.
yeah. It's like, and he's so mad because for him, for Jeremiah's point of view, he has done everything possible to subdue her, to work on her mind, to make sure she is, you know, doing cult things. But her laughter kind of breaks that in
Yeah.
terms of. It's
And
like,
you also see, like, you could also hear him snapping immediately at all the cult members too. Don't look at me! Don't look at me!
yeah, and it's like with her laughter, it kind of breaks his authority,
His mystique.
right?
Yeah. But we did want to talk about a little bit. The song that Jeremiah is playing,
Yeah.
that's an actual song they made for the movie.
Oh, okay.
Amulet of the Weeping Maze.
This imagery is
Yeah.
just delightful with the
Yeah.
rays of sunshine coming off from his head as if he was like Jesus or something.
But what's so interesting about it, when the film came out, it actually was a real big hit on Bandcamp. The single that came out with it was 17 minutes long.
Oh,
And it's a full story about Jeremiah Sand.
oh,
And you notice that during his entire opening, he tells the beginning of how he ended up like meeting the whatever higher power that got him into it.
yeah.
What was the reason why he got into that? Because he was rejected by music companies, just like Charlie Manson.
Just like Charlie Manson.
Yeah.
So Jeremiah is pissed, and then we get to see Red enjoying
Tied
life.
up with
being
barbed
tied up by-
wire.
Yeah, but barbed wire. I was like,
Yeah. Now, what's interesting about this is they do have that scene that's really haunting is when he basically forces Sister Lucy, to play Russian roulette in front.
yeah, this
Yeah.
is like straight out of Deer Hunter type shit.
Yeah, this is like full blown on cult
Yes.
stuff here.
And this
Showing
is,
the devotion and everything. Prove the fact that like how much you love me and that you trust the fact that I'm not gonna let any harm come to you.
yeah, and when
Pull the trigger.
yeah, and she pulls the trigger, I half thought she was gonna die right there and then.
Yeah.
I really thought she was gonna die because even if I wasn't like I was doing something else because I was bored. I was sitting here on this PC
Again, we're only like 40 minutes into it?
and I was about what is
Yeah.
it? 53 minutes.
50 minutes, yeah. And we haven't really got to the entire part of the film yet.
Yeah, at this point, it was like just think about what happened in the movie so far. So Red came home, had a little bit of conversation with Mandy. Mandy took a stroll, got into the cult. The cult kind of like saw her. Jeremiah was like, "Oh, another cult member." Invoked the Cenobites, and the Cenobites grabbed them, and this is it. It could have been done in 25 minutes of a movie.
Yeah,
And
it could have.
And it's like everything took way, way too long, as if to prolong it on purpose.
It was done on
I
purpose.
just don't get the purpose.
It was clearly done on purpose.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Everything took too long. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. But they have after this when Brother Swan stabs Red.
Yeah.
In the ribs. That knife, he says, "This is the blade of pale night from the abyssal lair." That's a direct Dungeons and Dragons reference. Because
I
there's
know,
a
I
demon
didn't
called
even
Pale
notice
Knight
that.
that lives in the abyss. Yeah. They're like that's just like it's 1-for-1 Dungeons and Dragons. Like that's like 80s Dungeons and Dragons right there.
Yeah, that's my kind of Dungeons
Yeah.
and Dragons, and I didn't catch up to it. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. See, I can't with these films. I can't have them too boring because I'd lose so much context. And let's be fair, it didn't really affect any plot point. It was
No,
just
it's just a
one of
subtle
those,
little nod that was fun.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those fun things in movies that I actually do like. It's a reference without putting too much. Oh, look, it's a reference. It's a one of those things where it's
Like
gonna
in modern films, but right now what they would do is they would have said that, and then they would like Dungeons and Dragons.
kind of. But where I was going for is I've seen Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and there are member berries in it
Okay.
overtly, but there are member berries in it that are so like if you're a fan, you would get it. But if you're not a fan, it's just like an object or a scene or something.
Okay.
But it's definitely a member berry. I like the subtle kind of non-conspicuous, oh, and you just move on.
Yeah.
But you know the guy who was making the movie really appreciated what came before it. That's the stuff I like.
Mhm.
Having the abyssal thing is just a nod to like Dungeons and Dragons guys. However, if you're not into it, it's just a guy saying weird, creepy
So
shit
weird,
with
wacky shit because he's in a cult. It's like, yeah, okay,
exactly,
part and parcel. It makes sense.
exactly. And then, of course, because Jeremiah was so his sort of like his power was challenged by Mandy laughing. Retribution.
Yeah.
And
So they just burn her alive. It's like
yeah,
that went real quick.
that went real quick, real fast, and I was like, "Damn, that's weird." Because I really didn't expect that. And this is where my interest kind of peaked, and I left everything I was doing because it turned from this hippy dippy artsy movie into a full-blown revenge movie.
Yeah.
But it didn't it moved really slow.
Mhm.
It moved really, really slow. And that was an issue. That was a real issue. So actually Red gets freed from his shackles. Like he tears his fucking arms out to get out.
What's so odd is they just left him there to bleed out, to die.
Yeah. Yeah. And all he does is he's looking at his love and like it's sort of like how do you deal with this in front of your face?
Yeah.
And all he can do is literally what any of us would do is literal scream.
What I think was interesting was just there's the clear signs of just absolute grief that he shows within a 5-minute span there. Because as he's walking into the house, he's just like completely dumbstruck. He's in an absolute stupor. He has no idea what he's doing, and like that's where he stops and watches he gets his number 44 shirt and he holds it and he sees the Cheddar Goblin commercial and he almost kind of just does it like, Goblin.
Yeah.
Goblin. And then he goes to the bathroom. Sorry, no. He goes to bed.
Yeah, he goes to bed and he gets this
And he has the heavy metal
the heavy
inspired.
the heavy metal kind of scene. And I to be honest, I like this. The
Yeah, because
imagery
I think
like.
are there two more? I think there's two more after
I
this.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. We'll get to that.
But then they have when he wakes up, they have the infamous bathroom scene. That's what this movie is really known for, is the bathroom scene.
Really?
Yeah, because this 100% they just let Nicolas Cage go.
You know what? I can see it.
Yeah, they just said just here's the notes. Go.
It kind of harkens back to the fact that in an interview he said that he had a lot of emotional baggage coming into this movie because he literally got divorced right before they started filming.
Yep.
And the emotions had to go somewhere. That is a direct quote from Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, I see where you're going with this. And he let it fucking rip. Like I said, a big scream. I even saw that there's an uncredited screaming coach
Yeah.
called David something. And I was like, why didn't they give him some credit? Fuck. Because apparently it's he paid for him out of his pocket.
Yeah.
So Nicolas Cage paid for it from his pocket, so it's not really the movie paying for it, so he's uncredited.
Yep.
All right. I want to get to that.
So we do have him then after going to Carruthers.
Yeah, I want to give one last imagery of this after the screen, sort of like he goes through the stages of
Just
grief.
grief. Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting. And he goes to is it Bill Duke? Right? The name of the actor?
The actor, yeah.
He goes to his place. It's like, what are you hunting? It's like some bikers. It's like,
No, because he actually says, because I got some shit
yeah.
you might need. You put them to good use. And he tells them the story of the Black Skulls and the chemist.
Yes.
About how they got that super high-powered LSD and it basically just fried their brains.
Oh, dude, I found it one of the funnier moments, like Bill Duke's telling our main character, "Oh, I've got some nice little special arrows for you to put
Yep.
into good use." And he tells them all about the stuff that where they went out and pillaged and
What they ended up doing and everything.
ended
And
up like graping a few innocent people.
yeah,
all
and
that.
apparently that didn't stop. As we see later in one of the scenes.
Yeah.
Then there's then we have him after that going back and then making the axe. And at 1 hour 15, we get the Mandy title card. And
Yeah, that's not how you make axes. I don't know what kind of metal that they actually use. It just looks cool when he pours it into this mold.
yeah, you know what I was thinking the entire time?
Forged by fire?
No, I was thinking Terminator 2.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. But to be fair, that axe is legit cool looking.
It does look cool. And the fact like once you know that it's supposed to be the F from Celtic Frost, you're like, okay, that's
You know
that's
what's
kinda
weird?
dope.
You said it's from Celtic Frost. You know where the first thing I looked to see where kind of like the style of axe was going
Yeah.
for? I literally I wrote down God of War 2016. I want to see if it's the same axe.
Oh no, it wasn't. No, it's not even like the
not.
same
It's
like
not.
the
This is a Celtic axe. The other one is
No, it's not even a
Nordic
Celtic axe. It's just the way with the way that they have that kind of font.
No, I mean the style is Celtic. That's why it's not surprising that you said it's a
Yeah.
Celtic Frost, because the style is Celtic. It's not Nordic. It's never mind.
Yeah, it's not like a bearded axe.
No.
Yeah.
It's like it's not in the style of the Vikings. It's more the style of
Yeah, I know what you
later
mean.
on Celtic stuff, which is a lot more like too elaborate. Never mind. And yeah, you mentioned this.
Yeah.
The much more of a like really dark, heavy metal, black metal kind of stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
In terms of style.
Yeah, definitely. That could totally be. They could like, I really want them to do a cover of the song Mandy now. Like,
Oh, stop it.
like Lamb of God do a cover of that. that has the cover art. And like, okay, that'd be kind of cool.
You came and you
Or-
gave without taking, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit. It doesn't. Never mind.
You'd be surprised at that how it can actually how metal can work.
I'm always shocked when they got like this melodic thing and it goes into metal and was like, I don't know which one I like more. I probably think the metal more is better.
Yeah.
Right. So we have a little bit of cageism at this point because why not?
Yeah, he starts like the faces and the wacky faces just get wackier and wackier and wackier.
Yeah,
Like, and
and
at the end, he's like Vampire's Kiss era Cage crazy.
yeah, yeah, he went like full into the cageisms. I didn't understand. Like he drove straight into the guy, yet he flipped over.
Well, his suit is made. He's almost like Iron Man, that guy, because his entire suit is like it's a metal suit that he's wearing.
Yeah, but it kind of, like I said, I was thinking in the lines of the Cenobites, sort of like mythical, not mythical, but sort of like supernatural beings.
Yeah.
And him hitting the guy and flipping over, and I was like, do they really did the Cenobites without talking about Cenobites and cut to another really heavy metal moment? I want to see. Oh, I can't show that.
You can't show a lot of the next about 10 minutes.
I can show. No, I want to. You can see it.
Oh, the heavy metal part. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to.
Yeah.
When he's knocked out or when he's out of it
Yeah.
after he flipped the car, he goes into this whole scene where he's longing for Mandy again. Um, and there's let's say it's very in terms of the movie Heavy Metal, the animated movie Heavy Metal. That is the art style that we
It's
get.
very much so. Like
Yeah.
it's so reminiscent of well, South Park did the best, I think, mockery of it.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, because that's basically what it was.
And when he wakes up, like I said, and again, it really reminded me of one of the Cenobites where he has a face, but he doesn't really have a face, where they literally pinned him down with
Yeah,
one hand,
it is.
and they put a like not chains,
They just
handcuff
handcuff him to like this
on
this
the other hand, and I was
pole,
like,
yeah.
dude, this is exactly what I would expect out of Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Like really. And you can see how resourceful Red is, where he's
Yeah.
using the handcuffs to literally like like
Because the pipe is rusted, so he
Yeah.
could actually like break free
jimmy
from it.
away the rusted pipe and use it as a weapon.
And I love the fact when he cuts his shirt, he's like, "That was my favorite shirt."
Now
And he actually even says it later when he ends up killing the guy.
yeah.
And
What
do you know what
was-
he says when he actually does when he actually breaks it off? And he if you notice too, there's a cut. There's a flashback at the end of the film of him wearing that shirt when he first met Mandy. That's the reason why he's wearing the shirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And-
I was gonna say, what's the significance of that shirt?
Yeah.
Why is it so important?
Do you know what he says when he breaks free and starts clubbing him with the pipe?
I don't remember.
You're a vicious snowflake.
Interesting. 2018, very interesting.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I want to get to where is it? So he gets freed. I like this. I like this one. You've seen it. He goes for like the box.
He's got the box cutter. He just sit up.
It's like,
This'll
what the
do.
fuck are you doing? You have a pipe. Use the fucking pipe. No,
Really?
box cutter. And he literally, like, he pulls that pin.
And just also, as an aside, look at the bathroom. That's immaculate for psycho bikers.
Yeah. And you know they're all men because the
Yeah.
seat is up.
Yep.
Oh my god. Or yeah, they're all men.
And they do have that scene where he walks across some of.
No, I can't show that. God.
No, you know
damn
what this, but it is just mentioned that the fact that he has done it. his victims. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go
And
into
then
let's
he's
do this.
well,
So
then he's
the
sitting there
thing
just
is
with a mountain of cocaine, like a
yes,
mountain of cocaine.
yeah, that what I was going for, and it comes back around because is it the pig dude, right?
Yeah.
He's he's snorting out a mountain of cocaine, watching porn, like 70s porn,
Yeah.
and not doing so much, not doing anything apart from that.
Yeah.
And then Nicolas Cage comes in. They have this altercation, which ends with Nicolas Cage shoving something in his throat,
No,
and
he
the
slits his
guy
throat with
literally,
actually with the box cutter.
yeah,
Yeah.
and literally he throws up all the blood right into Cage's open mouth and face. And Cage
Yeah.
literally gets up, takes a piece of glass, fills it up with so much cocaine, and just shoves it up his nose like this. And he takes all the coke. And then not only that, he goes out to this jar of LSD and he
He just puts his finger in like just a dip, and he goes like, wow.
and he goes
Showing
into
how powerful it was. And then the other guy comes back because he didn't kill him.
yeah.
And this time he does kill him by screaming the favorite battle line. What is it?
I don't know.
You ripped my shirt.
Oh, I want to get to the coke. Oh, there we go. It's such a. This shot was great. This is just great. Don't do drugs, kids.
Kids. Yeah. Don't.
But the thing is this. He at some point he has this vest on because he realized that, yeah, the guy just tried to shoot me with a shotgun. I need some protection.
So he grabbed one of the other bikers' vests. Essentially.
Yeah, exactly. And he has that vest. And then the other guy shows up, he kills him, and he realizes, oh, I need my axe. And he takes off the axe, and you can basically, for the first time, kind of see it in all its glory.
Yeah.
Because you see pieces of it.
And the other thing too, you notice he looks around for a little bit, and you wonder like, what the hell is he? Is he looking for more drugs? They're like, oh, crossbow. Completely forgot about the crossbow.
Exactly.
Which doesn't come up again.
Yeah, he doesn't.
No.
It really doesn't. But he makes sure to pick that up from their whatever house, trailer, whatever they're living in.
Yeah.
Place is filthy, apart from the bathroom, which is immaculate.
Which is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he drops the acid, it literally face melting.
Yeah. This is Indiana Jones, kids. This is really, it's Indiana Jones.
And oddly enough, they use the same
So you have the
filming
same technique.
Yeah, so they did it. Yeah, they did it the exact same way.
It's what they used in Indiana Jones is literally wax.
Yeah,
That melted over time, but it's layering of mask and other shit in there.
And you know what also did that? Remember Critters?
Ah, yes,
Yep.
yes. I think we mentioned it, right?
Yep. So we have just the one Black Skull left. He's standing out there watching a burning car,
Yeah, and
which I assumed was Red's before, the one that he was driving before.
no, because he was driving a truck, and this one's like an Oldsmobile.
Okay.
And they go into this fight. I want to see.
But what's so interesting too is he does use the crossbow here because he shoots him through the throat.
Yeah, and the guy just
Takes it out, and it's this
it
giant spurt of blood just
and he just keeps on moving.
just
Either
keeps on
he-
trucking.
Yeah, he's either high on LSD, so he doesn't really care, or he's an actual Cenobite, which makes the beheading like useless, but he dies. But
We're gonna talk about that. That's so funny. What's
What?
great though is that fight that happens. Because I bet that this is this thing that most of the villains do in this movie. They still keep mocking him. She still burns. She still
at
burns.
this point where he literally took the fucking axe to his throat, and it's like she still burns, and he falls down, and then he gets beheaded.
Gets beheaded. His head gets lit on fire, What does Red do? He gets a cigarette and he looks around and he just uses the head as a lighter.
Yeah.
See, this is why. See, now you're talking about it. Now you're like, yeah, this movie is so ridiculous. It's kind of fun. It's so stupid.
But we're talking about like it's the last half hour of the movie.
Yeah, I
40
know.
minutes technically.
I
That's
know.
40 minutes in the movie, and this is what it's like. I get this part. This was interesting, but again, there are moments of action, and then it's like long 8-7 minute stretches of nothing happens.
Yeah.
And it drove me crazy because I wanted this crazy thing to be. We'll get to the fight in a bit, but from this place, he's like, this is like Super Cage.
This and then at the end,
Glory.
especially like when he's in the car and he looks over at the camera and he's just grinning, that
Yeah.
crazy grin as he's driving away. It's like, yeah, it's Super Cage.
The thing we kind of skipped over is the fact that in his when he drinks the LSD, he sees visions of that big antenna, and this is where the chemist actually is. And when
Yeah.
before he gets to him, we see the squares. Now, if you know anything about LSD,
It's like window pane.
it's each one of those is a fun little memory. It's a fun little trip down memory lane. We'll call it that. Just
Well,
that.
that too. If you look at the site, he actually has the jar of what
Yeah,
the
jar
real
and
good
the
good that he
worm.
gives. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, there's the worms. And remember, he shows that one scene. Like, you remember, you see the truth, man, and all the worms are all over the floor.
Yep.
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 This movie's
So-
weird.
So when he gets to the chemist that starts talking to him as if he knows him.
Well, and two, if you notice too, Red doesn't say a word in their
No.
entire dialogue. It's like they're like he's speaking to him telepathically.
Yeah, and you have that tiger, and he kind of mentions the fact
It's like,
that the
No, she's
tiger
like,
goes-
no, you're right, man. It's really wrong to keep her captive, and he just lets her go. He's like, bye, Lizzie.
the thing is this: before he releases her, he says, I think he says that she likes you or she knows you. Or
No,
something
no, no, no,
about
no,
that.
no. She says no. She's calm. That means you
She's
know
calm.
it's. She's calm. That means you know it's good. It means that like the batch is good.
No. And he lets her go, and she just leaves because she's high, or I don't know what it
Yeah.
was. Maybe it's like the spirit of that tiger is the spirit of justice, and she knows Cage is on the war path. So
Yeah.
she just like, okay, I know you're out for justice.
Well, what's great too is the fact that the chemist sympathizes with Red and gives him all the information, and the chemist is one of the only people that Red doesn't kill.
Yes.
The only other one is Sister Lucy that we'll get to.
Well, I can't show that either. We get to the third part of the heavy metal bit.
Oh, yeah, you can't show that.
I can't show that. I want to show it, but I'll get in trouble.
Yeah,
Is there any moment that I can show?
I don't
'Cause
think
it's
so.
Literally,
because I think
it's an imagery of Mandy. She's naked. It's animated, but she's
Yeah.
naked. And she's taking care of this wounded tiger animal. Literally, it kind of reminded me of Battle Cat, like from He-Man Battle Cat.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
It's a weird little version of that. It's not exactly that, but it's kind of a weird version of that. And I thought, well, what is that supposed to mean? Is it Red, or is it Jeremiah, or I don't know what it is, or what it's supposed to invoke? I still have no idea. So the thing is, Red, what he got from the chemist is the location of the church, basically.
Yeah.
Where they're actually are planning to.
That's the Church of the New Dawn. With that.
Yeah,
That's,
they're
It's like
their
they're-
base of operations.
Yeah. What's weird too is they have like it's an old mining and logging facility apparently, because they have that entire underground bunker underneath it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as Red comes in, the first thing he finds is the old dude, the guy who was using the Ocarina of Time. Yes, I'm going to call it Ocarina of Time.
That's his brother Swan.
Yeah. and he has a very interesting death. He
Yeah,
literally curb stomps him into that fucking axe.
it's pretty rough. That's a pretty rough
It's
go. And also too, Red was mocking him, saying, "You know, she still burns. She's still
yeah,
burning.
and I
You
was
know
like,
that, right?"
oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Is there sort of a in a cult you have some sort of a shared consciousness in a way, but it's not the same as those bikers. So I
No, I
didn't.
think it's more of just a way to really give him a big fuck you before you die.
Yeah, I maybe. I just thought, well, I can't show that.
What's interesting is right after he dies too, Lucy is standing there crying, like, well, she just has tears come down her face. She's actually sobbing, but he just lets her go. Like they don't ever show her going away, but it's clear that she did because he died. He didn't kill her. They would have shown her
Yeah,
dying.
yeah.
Um,
I think like in like with the chemist, we don't see him leave really. Like the next shot after the chemist talked to him about it is him driving off. So you don't know if he killed the chemist or not, technically. But if it's not shown, it's probably didn't it probably didn't happen because for everyone else, when it's shown that he kills, he kills.
Either that or well, he doesn't actually show them killing Mother Marlene either, but he throws her decapitated head in the other room, so it's pretty clear that he killed her.
We don't really know if he killed the other gal, but
But it's pretty much a given that you feel sorry for her because she's just this young stupid girl that got brainwashed into a cult, and she didn't do any of the harmful stuff either. Like she didn't
no.
drug Mandy, she didn't try to like get her into the cult like with Mother Marlene or anything. She didn't do like any of the stuff actually like harming them in any way, shape, or form. She was just sort of there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
All right.
anyway, while he's driving there, an old Spanish song is actually playing. This is one
didn't
that he
notice
got,
that.
which was Cielito Lindo. But what's interesting is the fact that they changed the lyrics.
Oh, they read. I wanted to say redub it, but
Well, they redid the lyrics essentially.
yeah, read it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, to actually fit Red's mind state.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's kind of there's interesting the way that they did that.
All right. You know what? Let's
Then one last
pause.
thing before we go into
Okay.
the next thing is just the next scene. This makes me laugh out loud every single time. The
You know what?
axe just goes.
Before we do our our second game, let's talk about this because this was so hilarious.
Well, it was before that where the axe is just flying through the air and you see the guy with the mullet. It just goes right into his head.
Yes.
Makes me laugh out loud every single time I see it.
Yeah, but before we get this thing, yeah, the guy with the weird, creepy guy with the mullet, that dude, he paid for that fucking window going up and down. He paid for it with an axe in his face. But yeah, I didn't find that one really funny. I found it very much within the sort of Jason-esque kind of killing.
Well, that and really like Grindhouse style, they would do comical kills that were like that.
Yeah, for sure. But
yeah, this the other guy too. This is what is his name? It's Brother Hanker, I think is his name. Is that the big guy? When he's still trying to rev his chainsaw, and he brings out the chainsaw with that giant.
Yeah, it's like, oh, what is this puny chainsaw I see? How about this bitch? But they have this sort of a fight where at the end of it, what happens is the guy literally gets dragged onto that chainsaw. And dies.
And with blood just everywhere.
But just the mere fact that they were, this is a good shot. The mere fact that they have it with just holding it with one hand. It's insane. Those things are fucking heavy.
They're heavy, yeah. Well,
They're
especially the one that's like 8 feet long.
And it was clearly made to cut really, really big trees.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's do our second game of the night. It is called Screen Fighter.
Round one, fight.
Screen Fighter is where we take two movies, pit them together, and see which one is the best one. If there's no discernible difference between the two, both of them are good, but both of them are bad. We fall into our criteria, which is Saturday evening, Friday evening, out with the boys, out with the girls, out with their significant other. Two movies in a vacuum. Which one will we pop in? Ba-bam. Oh, shit. No, that's wrong. That's really, really wrong. That's Wong. That's white.
There, there you go.
Right.
Wow,
Highlander,
this one's easy.
original Highlander or Titanic?
Highlander, man.
Easy pickings. I
That's
thought for a
easy.
second that you would say Titanic.
No way.
Showtown. I have not seen. It's Snowtown. Sorry, I haven't seen Snowtown.
It's really good. It's a really good movie.
Okay. I have seen The Shootist, Big, or The Shootist.
I do believe we're going to be talking about that in a couple of months.
I think so as well.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Big. Even though it's a very, 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 very fucked up story if you think about it.
Just the one part, though.
But you do realize that you had sex with a 14-year-old boy, right?
He was old enough at the time. Jumper or The Graduate? Is there any
super weird
choice?
Japanese poster. Well, yeah, it's The Graduate, duh. But still, that's a really super weird Japanese poster for Jumper.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, come on. Oh,
They
this
Live
is...
or The Breakup?
Well, I still will test the fact that I think The Breakup did a great thing about breaking up the concept of the romantic comedy. It's They Live. Come on, man. You dirty
I came
motherfucker.
to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. Oh, Rowdy Piper. A Knight's Tale or Alien? This is too easy.
This is too
dude.
easy. Even Jonesy. Fuck.
Yeah, too easy. Okay. This
Oh
is
man,
better.
this is better. This is better,
You-
but it's also a very easy pick for me.
It's Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, because that's my favorite Mel Brooks film. Even though The Usual Suspects is great.
All right. Is it more difficult?
This
When
is
Harry
even,
Met Sally or Jaws 2?
say it's the only film that I like Billy Crystal in.
It's easy pickings for me.
This is so easy, man.
Oh, I hate this movie.
I'm still here.
I hate both of them. Never
They're
mind.
both awful, to be fair.
X-Men Apocalypse or I'm Still Here. Do you know the story about I'm Still Here? Not the story of the movie, like the making of.
Yeah.
It's like Joaquin Phoenix dressed up like this dude for, was it almost a year?
Yeah.
And people in Hollywood thought he was like nutsoid.
Then he finally lost his
Yeah,
went off
but
his
he
rocker
was
finally,
in character the whole
yeah.
time,
Yeah.
just to prepare for the movie, and the movie fucking sucked.
That's really bad.
X-Men Apocalypse. It's the new X-Men or the next generation X-Men. It's the Jennifer Lawrence X-Men.
I say it's better. I would say no. I like to refer that as the McAvoy X-Men.
The McAvoy X-Men. Okay.
Yes,
The McAvoy
instead of
X-Men.
instead of the Picard.
Yeah, instead of the Picard X-Men.
But
Yeah.
I would have to say, like, I would rather watch X-Men Apocalypse, even though it's awful, and they did such an awful job with Apocalypse. And Oscar Isaacs is such a good actor too.
Batman and Robin or Parenthood. It's an easy choice for me,
I used to
But I'll
meet
let
you.
but I'll let you have it.
I used to meet you.
You're gonna pick Batman and Robin?
I would rather watch that any day of the week just because I can sit back and laugh about what that movie was going to be.
I'm gonna actually pick Parenthood of all things.
Okay.
It's very subtle with its comedy. It's not something I would normally watch because it has fucking what's his face in it. But it's oddly satisfying at the end. It
Okay.
really is. I haven't seen it in a long while, but it's really satisfying. It's really rough, but it's satisfying.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with you with Batman and Robin, but I will pick Parenthood. Casino Royale or Train Spotting?
Even though Casino Royale is my favorite of the Craig Bonds, because Mads Mikkelsen is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's got to be Train Spotting.
Hands down, Train Spotting. I don't like the Daniel Craig Bond era. Uh, I will concede that Casino Royale is the best one,
Yeah.
but it's not enough. Transporting is such a powerful movie. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang or Crimes and Misdemeanors?
We have talked about this before. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is such a vastly underrated movie. It pains me. I love that movie.
It's not on our list this year, but it's gonna probably be next year.
You know, it could be something that we could do for Robert Downey Jr. because
It
I
could
can
be.
think because I could think of like 4 other movies that I want to put on that list.
All right, we'll talk about it. But
One
yeah,
would be definitely Less Than Zero, which you have not seen yet. I know.
yes,
That's a good.
one of them should be Air America. No, no, hell no. Napoleon Dynamite or U.S. Marshals with Robert Downey Jr.
Jr. I'm sorry. I have a soft spot in my heart for Napoleon Dynamite.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
I do like U.S. Marshals. I do like the fact that they were like, okay, we're gonna do The Fugitive, but we can't like do like a sequel because it's so iconic as a TV show and then a movie. But
Yes.
we love these characters, and everybody loved that moment in The Fugitive of Tommy Lee Jones going all out. It's like every outhouse, in-house, outhouse, whatever, right? In the tri-state area. Everybody loved that moment. It's not enough, though.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Not enough. Right. Not last one, because
Oh,
it
boy.
sucks. Lemony Snicket's or Where the Wild Things Are.
I don't know what Jim Carrey was thinking when he signed on for that film.
It was supposed to be a completely different movie, apparently.
Yeah. Well, and it was supposed to be a trilogy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the Wild Things Are?
Yeah.
I guess so. Last one, Swordfish or Scream 2?
Oh God, I have to go for it. It's got to be Swordfish. Oh my God, that movie is so dumb and it's so fun.
I give you 2 reasons why Swordfish is better than Scream.
Well,
And
not
they're-
Scream. If it was
and they're
Scream,
both-
I would watch Scream.
And they're both hanging out of Halle Berry's chest. Holy
I was gonna say, like, well, yeah. How the hell were you supposed to? You were this great computer hacker and everything. You haven't hacked in years, and now they're just like they're putting a gun to your head while a girl's giving you a blowjob, and they're like, hack this. What am I watching right now?
That movie, Swordfish, is so fucking dumb. It's unreal.
The hacking scene where he's just drinking bottles of wine with like 40 different monitors. I'm like, that's not how any of this works.
I mean, the concept of the worm is real.
Yes.
Other than that,
No.
no. No. Oh my god. And by the way, is it 128-bit encryption or something like
I
that?
think so.
They
yeah.
still can't encrypt in 120-bit or something like that. I think the highest they could go is 64. Hey, hackers out there, tell me I'm wrong. I know that it was so over the top ridiculous, the fact that they still today can't even get to that number because it's so stupidly statistically off. You don't need it. Or somebody explained it to me at some point. So what they were going for is so statistically impossible that you don't need that much because nobody would go into the trouble in getting to it that way. They would just go through
They
the
would go in
back,
the back door.
they
Yeah.
just go through the back door of actually doing social engineering and just getting it that way. Right,
Yeah.
just full on hack. All right.
Alrighty.
Next, where are we going? Movie. Nicolas Cage. Oh, by the way, I completely forgot the fact that the chemist had a golden Luger, which to me says the man with the golden gun, but it wasn't discussed nor was it invoked in any
Anyway.
way.
Yeah.
So I just think the golden gun just looks cool.
Cool. Yeah.
And like I said, in many ways, a lot of these moments in the movie, you can say, "Oh, it could be this," but I think the guy just said thought it was cool, so that's how it was made. This shot is absolutely insanely good
Yeah.
because the cross doesn't come out of this pedestal; it's actually at the back wall.
Because it's actually a window. It's cut out.
It's a
Yeah.
cutout window, and there's sort of like the distance thing was working there. It's just a beautiful shot in a movie.
Yeah.
With the red kind of like the revenge red, I would call it, kind of in full swing. I think he even reads scripture at some point, and then he goes down into the
No, because he looks at it for a second and then he goes
Kinda
down
tosses it
into
away.
the tunnels. Yeah.
because it's not a Bible; it's their own scripture, I believe. Which
Yeah.
is which is basically in any cult, it's just a hodgepodge of gobbledygook, right?
Well,
just-
that's basically it's but utilizing quotes from the Bible in order to essentially make the cult leader the new Messiah, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's the follow the gourd of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And like we said, he does get to sort of like the mama.
Yeah, it's Mother
individual.
Marlene. Yeah.
Marlene. And you don't see him kill her, but he definitely has his
Well, there was like two where she says, Jeremiah says, I was the most sensual lover that he's ever had. She's like trying to seduce him. It's like, girl, if you look at him, he's not here for fucking.
And the thing is, when Red goes down there and Jeremiah is going all crazy, right? But then he grabs him, and it seems like reality kind of hits.
Well,
with
yeah, when it's because
Jeremiah.
he has the whole thing where he's blustering and the head gets thrown, and then when he where he's still blustering, and then when Red grabs him by the head, he says, Red says, the psychotic drowns while the mystic swims, and I'm still swimming.
Yeah,
Do you know what the
I have
concept?
no idea.
And you're drowning. It's actually it's a reference to Joseph Campbell.
Who is another cult leader?
No, who is a modern mythologist.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know who
it's
he
a reference to his term. The psychotic drowns in the same waters in which the mystic swims with the light. Yeah. So
Okay.
he's noting the fine line between divinity or like mysticism and insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this case, it's full on insanity because what happens is after this spiel and after the fact that Jeremiah kind of awakens to the fact that he's going to die.
It's just do you blow you, man?
Yeah. He's like, do you want a blow job? It's like,
Yeah.
no, he probably will say no, and then he just
No.
crushes.
No, because
his
then
fucking
he
eye.
goes right back to there. Then he snaps back and goes, no, you're supposed to kneel before me. You're supposed to kneel before me, and he just crushes his skull. Hit with the eyeballs. Boop.
And of course, like I said, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, kind of a Old Testament retribution kind of a thing, and he just burns
Burns him.
Jeremiah.
Yeah. Well, he
Which-
burns the entire thing down.
Yeah, he burns the entire thing, but he's basically burning Jeremiah just to give you an extra, an extra redemption. As he, this shot is beautiful too. It's like he walks away. It's real. I like this.
Well, yeah, because the set deck had to create that entire wooden structure with the teepee and the cutout cross and everything.
Yeah.
And they're just like, so we're gonna burn it today.
Well, it happens in movies where you built a whole set, and what you need to do is you need to fucking either burn
You gotta blow it up.
or,
I mean, or
or
burn
blow
it
it
or
up
something.
Michael Bay style. But the shots that you get, do you see the sort of, it goes from red into like yellow, where it kind of the yellow kind of burns away the red, I would say.
Yeah.
It clears away the red. A little bit. And we're still knee deep. Like I said, these scenes, and I've transferred like 2 minutes forward, it's still burning.
Yeah.
And those things drove me crazy.
Okay.
Right?
So then they have him driving where he's just still covered in blood, and they have that.
And then it goes into he meets Mandy for it's sort of like a flashback scene where he has the shirt, like you mentioned, he has his shirt where he met Mandy, and she smiles at him, and it's still red.
Yeah, but if you notice that the background behind her is blue.
Yes,
it's
and the
reflecting off
background behind him was blue as well.
Yeah. So then he has the vision of her actually sitting in the car smoking a cigarette next to him.
Yeah. And it's
all like in this blood haze.
Yeah. This is a full on like delusion or whatever, or a trip, because it's just after he's driving off with basically her in the car after his vengeance spree, and that's it.
Yeah,
it's
and
over.
we have just that big shot with the classic Nick Cage crazy grin, and then this shot was just like, what were you going for here, Panos? I don't. The two moons.
It's the same setting as the animated parts.
Yeah,
this imagery is in those animated parts, and it really like this one is really reminiscent of those like animated heavy metal. There's another one, it's not called heavy metal, it's something else, same kind of imagery as well, very very Dungeons and Dragon-esque, but very sci-fi at the same time. Right?
And there is one more scene. It's post-credits.
I haven't seen it.
It's literally just a blip and you'll miss a thing. It just cuts back to the drawings of Mandy, which she was working on.
Okay, let me see. Oh yeah, okay.
That's it.
I've not seen this.
Yep.
Again, with this side, right? It's the 44 with the tiger, and this side is much more of a, you can tell, like
it's like sci-fi and
this area right here is like a dragon, and this imagery right there with the Amazon lady, again heavy metal, the unfinished
centaur
and the wolves that you see in the Dungeons and Dragons thing, rather than just imagery of wolves.
Yeah,
interesting. Didn't contribute too much to the movie to me,
but I just want to let you know that was there
a little blip.
Blip there at the end, and that's Mandy.
And that's about it. That is the whole kit and caboodle. I haven't changed my mind. This movie is not something I'm going to watch again, unless something special happens. I'm not going to seek it out. Let's just say that.
That's right.
Well, I am technically going to watch it again because I wrote a review of it, and I will like get it out at some point. But yeah, not something I will go back to, because I
That's fair.
just couldn't, like, the incredible cinematography is one thing, but the story to keep you there and the editing factor is a thing,
Yeah.
it's very hard. Like, what I liked about Pig is the fact that it is an hour and a half and you get a full story. And no, it's not super fast, but because of how it's edited and made sure it's sort of
It's
like
succinct.
it kept contained
Mhm.
and kept going.
Yeah.
Right? There are a few relaxed moments because it is based around dialogue rather than full action. It's contained and it's relatively fast. Where in here, there's sweeping shots, there's extra animation, there's a lot of uh, taking your time in a not a drunken, like a druggy haze
Yeah.
to set up a scene, and it's just too damn long. Everything is just slogging through. When there's action, it is pretty fucking good. It is pretty fucking good. But when
Yeah.
there's no action, you want to pull your teeth in just to make sure there's an action going on. And it's sad because I was excited because I didn't really want to watch adaptation again.
Yeah, I know. That was really one of the reasons why I wanted to change it too, because I'm like, I know you hate adaptation so much. I'm like, well, maybe this will give him a change.
Yeah.
But
Well, it is what it is. What are your takes from this overall? Because you've seen it more than once.
I've seen it multiple times. Yeah. See, I was always into it just because I love grindhouse films so much. So the last bit and revenge movies, I Saw the Devil's one of my favorite films of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Another very long movie.
You know what? We've covered I Saw the Devil, and I really liked I Saw the Devil, and
Yeah.
it didn't feel like it was a slog, even though
Well,
it
because
was
it's
2
I Saw the
hours
Devil's
15,
actually
right?
2:15. Yeah, it's actually longer than Mandy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing about it too is I just think it's such a great cinematic showpiece. That's why I really kind of enjoy it. It's a lot of like a film that I can have on in the background until I get to that point, but I can stop it. I can just really just enjoy the imagery that's occurring. But
All right. Cool. Next we'll put a pin in that, and let's just say I'm not sorry that I watched it. Even though I didn't like it, I'm not sorry I watched it.
okay.
Harken back to my intro of sometimes you need to watch stuff that you don't like or don't think that are good in order to sift through the stuff that you do like and enjoy more. But like I said, there are merits to stuff, and I do find certain things interesting or beautiful or stuff that I do like about it. It's just not enough. It's not a 1 out of 10. To me, it's like a 5, maybe a 4.
Okay.
Some people will give it less marks. I there are things in it that I liked, and stuff that I found funny, like the cocaine bit was hilarious to me. And it did keep me going at a certain point, especially the last 40 minutes of the movie. So I'm not sad I've seen it. Let's just say this.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the audience. Next week is something really special. First of all, we have a guest. Hopefully, we'll get a guest. He's slated in. I'm not going to say who. But go out and watch Lord of War with Nicolas Cage. It's
Such a good movie.
such a good movie. I haven't seen it in a long while. When I saw it for the very first time, it literally blew me away how good it is.
Yeah.
And how clever it is. And then I realized it's an actual guy.
Yep.
And I was like, the movie kind of hyper dramatized it, but a lot of these
But
things
a lot of the stuff actually
will
happened.
happen,
Yeah.
right? So it was like, oh my God. It's it's a lot more lighthearted movie, even though it's a tough subject, but a much more lighthearted movie, I think. And
Yeah.
as opposed to Mandy, let's just say this. Much more upbeat than Mandy and Pig, that's for sure. Right.
Yes.
So go watch Lord of War. I think it's on Amazon Prime. It could be on your Netflix because it rotates a bit, depending on your region. Just get it. You'll find a way. It's a pretty old movie. And we'll see you next week, I guess.
Yep.
Or I guess. Oh, next week, I think we're going to be on a regular time zone in terms of the US. So it's going to go back to 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, it
in the
will, yeah.
US, I believe. Because we're transferring on a Friday just before that. So everything's going to be back into normal. And hopefully the world will adjust itself, I guess. Anyway,
Yep.
until next week, boys and girls, a good night.
See you next week.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.